Concept of clock is to understand how the minute hand and the hour hands are moving. Let's first talk about the minute hand. Right? Minute hand. The question is minute hand moves by how many degrees in 60 minutes? So the answer is in 60 minutes it moves by 360 degrees, because if we have a clock, then the minute hand, suppose it's 12 o'clock in the clock, then in 1 hour, in 60 minutes, it will move by 360 degrees. That means in 1 minute, by how many degrees does minute hand move? Then the answer is 360 divided by 60 is equal to 6 degrees. That's the first information. Now, the second information is the hour hand movement. So hour hand in 60 minutes moves by how many degrees? So this we can find out by dividing 360 by 12, because there are 12 numbers in a clock, and suppose if it's 12 o'clock, then in 1 hour the hour hand will move from 12 to 1. So we have to find out the angle between 12 and 1, which is 360 divided in 12 equal parts, that is equal to 30 degrees. That means in 1 minute the hour hand moves by 30 divided by 60, which means half degrees. These are two important things. Now we are going to club them together, and that's it. That's going to be the concept of clock. Now the dynamics is that we have minute hand which moves by 6 degrees in 1 minute. Let's assume that this is 6 degrees. And there is another hour hand that moves by half degrees. So now let's suppose that hour hand comes here, this is half degrees. So the problem is to understand what will be the angle measure between the minute hand and hour hand in 1 minute. So this is 6 minus half, that is 5.5 degrees. That's going to be the most important concept here. Let me write it here. The angular shift means the angular change between the minute hand and hour hand is equal to 6 degrees minus half degrees, that is equal to 5.5 degrees, or we can often call it as 11 by 2 degrees. This is the most important concept, because every single question on the clocks can be answered using this in just seconds. For example, now we look at a question that at what time will the two hands of a clock be at right angle for the first time after 7 o'clock, right? So now let's quickly make a clock and make a time in it, which is 7 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, the angle between minute hand and hour hand, the angle between minute and hour hand can be represented by C. This is 180 degrees and this is 30 degrees. So 180 plus 30 is equal to 210 degrees. Now, eventually in this question, we want the angle to come to 90 degrees. That means the angular change that we are looking at is equal to 210 minus 90, which is 120 degrees. Now we are going to make use of this 11 by 2. The angular shift of 11 by 2 degrees is seen in 1 minute. So angular shift of 120 degrees will be seen in 2 by 11 times 120, which means 240 by 11. That is 22 whole number 9 by 11 minutes. And that's how we can answer this question, 22 whole number 9 by 11.